Hey guys, welcome back to Electrical Car Repair Live. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing to the channel. Today will be super helpful video guys to any of you having a Hyundai Santa Fe and you need to remove or replace cylinder head or cylinder head gasket. Stay with us, we'll explain everything from start to finish, how to remove that cylinder head in order to remove the head or replace the gasket. All that will be covered today. You don't need to remove your engine to do that. We simply have it out due to the fact that we'll be making hundreds of videos that can potentially save you thousands of dollars. And with the engine being out, we can clearly guys show you where everything is located, where every bolt, sensor, nut is located, and we can teach you how to fix your Hyundai Santa Fe. So let's start on it now. So this should work on Hyundai Santa Fe generation 2013 all the way to year 2016 guys, with a 2.4 GDI engine. Now let me introduce you to the channel quick. Every single car we get at the garage, we try to make at least 200 to 300 free repair videos. We take them completely apart, we show you how to fix practically anything guys. Why we do all that? Simply because our mission in the shop is to save you as much money as we can. All we need in return, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. This engine, okay, will be completely taken apart. Transmission will show you how to fix almost anything on it. Another thing, if you need to buy any parts or tools guys, okay, check out the link in the description of the video below and you can see where we get all the tools and parts from for a really good price and quick shipping as well. That's where we get all our supplies from. So this right here, okay, this is the engine. And before we start, let me tell you guys, if you have a Hyundai with a 2.4 GDI engine or other cars, check our main channel, Auto Repair guys. We have helped more than 110 million people guys. We have information that can save you thousands of dollars. So let's start on it now. So number one thing, okay, in order to continue guys, we need to drain the engine oil out of the oil pan. So that's the oil drain plug right here, 17mm wrench, okay, and we're just going to get it loose, but that thing is pretty tight, as you can see guys. Okay, that's where it's located, so we need to get the big tools in action. Okay, let's just go ahead, pre-loosen that one. It shouldn't be so tight guys, okay, whoever got it tight, it shouldn't be like that. So if the engine ran guys, it will be hot, so I'll recommend to let it sit, okay, overnight to make sure that it gets cool guys. And we'll let it drain and we'll continue. So now in order to remove the oil pan guys, okay, we need to actually, the AC bracket, one of them attaches to the oil pan, the timing cover right here, so that bracket will need to come out for the two bottom bolts. So we need to go ahead and get the two bolts of the AC on the bottom. We'll try not to remove the compressor, so if you have the engine in the vehicle, you don't have to drain the AC refrigerant, but be careful not to hit a pipe or something to break it, because they're under pressure and they can severely hurt you guys. So we'll go ahead, remove these two bolts now, and we will see, okay, if that will take care of the problem now. Okay, one bolt is almost out. You can see how long it is. Second bolt now. Okay, working on that one. Perfect, it's almost coming out as well. Now we need to get a 10mm socket guys, okay, and that bracket attaches, or it's a 12. It's a 12 guys, I think. I believe it's a 12mm where the bracket attaches. Okay, so let's see. Now you're going to see, we need to remove those. Those will be extremely tight. Okay, I'll hold the engine while we pre-loosen that one. Let's pre-loosen all of them so we can use the impact. Okay, let's see where another one is here. It's all the way underneath. Okay, let's see if we can use the impact now, okay, to remove that one and see if that bracket will drop. Okay, one bolt is out. Now we're looking for the hole for that. Okay, completely wrong place. Okay, right here. Number 2, 3 and 4 after that. Okay, let's see if that bracket will drop down. But actually it may not, guys. Okay, now we're just thinking about it. Hold on a second, because you have guides here that go in the AC compressor. Let's see if it's only the top or the bottom one. We have those, so we're going to inspect that and let you know, okay, if it's going to come loose or not, because you don't want to damage, okay, your car. So looks like the guides are only on the top of the compressor. Okay, perfect. And that bracket, that whole bracket, okay, came out. That's where the AC compressor attaches. Okay, right here. You can see where the bolts are, and that's where all 4 bolts are located. One of them you reach it through this hole. Perfect. Next, the AC compressor will not need to be removed that way. Somebody that worked on that car used a lot of silicone when they installed the oil pan. That oil pan actually has no gasket, guys, I believe. I think it's only silicone. I'll recommend the gray one. It's the best one that we use. I'll put the link in the description of the video below where you can get it from. That black one I'm not a big fan of. And you can always, once you install it, just wipe it with your finger, put glove and wipe it, make it nice and clean looking, not like blobs like that, because it looks terrible that way. So we're removing all the bolts around the oil pan, all of them. Okay, so now on this side here, let me turn it a little bit so I can show you. Okay, perfect. And once we remove the oil pan, I'll show you where exactly every single bolt is located and how to get to it. So now we are going to spin the engine this way. If you're underneath the vehicle, you have to do all that, guys. Okay, underneath you will not be able to spin your engine just like that. And we keep taking the bolts off. Okay, we have a few. Okay, 2 that are actually 12mm steel. Okay, by the AC compressor. Under that bracket we still have a few that are 12mm, guys, that we need to remove. And let me show you where they're located. Okay, right there you can see the 2 bolts. Oh, somebody stripped those. No, it didn't go. No, those are actually those are different. Those are the one with the 12-point socket, guys. We need to get a 12-point socket. Okay, 12-point socket, let's say 12mm 12-point socket, and we'll remove them. They're not the regular bolts. Okay, you can see. And once we remove them, I will be able to clearly show you what specifically, okay, they look like. So that's the 12-point socket, guys. Okay, one second, I need to focus a little bit more time. Okay, so this is a 12mm 12-point socket. Now we're going to go ahead, okay, remove these 2 bolts. Okay, they will be tight, so let's break them loose with a ratchet. Extremely tight. Okay, perfect. And now we'll go ahead and remove those 2 long bolts, guys. Check it out. Perfect. And now one more. Okay, great. You may leak oil out at this point too, guys, because that is holding, guys, okay, the upper the lower crankcase, okay, right there to the engine block. It's holding it. So now nothing else is holding. At that point it's only silicone that's holding that oil pan. So we need to get a screwdriver, okay, and we need to start prying it somewhere, but careful not to bend it too much. The thing is that it's actually a metal pan, so you can straighten it if it bends. Okay, so we're going to try to get somewhere under that silicone. Okay, let's see where. No, because here it's the thing. Okay, right there maybe. where we have the lip, somewhere where we have a lip, okay, maybe right here somewhere. Okay, you can see it's a metal pen. Then later if it bends for some reason, you need to, guys, actually straighten it a little bit with a hammer or pliers. It's coming loose. Okay, all that silicone is breaking loose now. Okay, a little bit on this side now, it's holding still on this side right here. Okay, it's oh, one more bolt, guys, we forgot one bolt. Okay, 10 millimeter right here. It's under all that silicone. So always inspect everything to make sure that is the case, guys, because now looking at it, it should come loose. Still pretty tight, but it's coming. Let's just start it on here a little bit with the screwdriver. I don't see any bolts, so I think it will come out. No, it's, let's see now, maybe we have a bolt. Oh, right there maybe. One second. Do we have a bolt there? Mm-hmm. Yep, one more hidden under more silicone. Whoever installed that thing put so silicone that we, guys, okay, cannot see that we have a bolt. So that's why stay with us until the end. We'll show you where every single bolt is located, so you know that you removed yours or not. So looking at it now, guys, okay, let's explain where all the bolts are located, okay. And you can see, we can show you, okay, on the oil pan where all the holes are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 bolts, guys, from what we can see, okay, right here. And you can see that's how we remove it. Now you need to straighten, okay, your oil pan. Wherever you bent it, you need to straighten it. You need to clean everything super good, guys. Okay, you need to clean everything super good, and we're going to get the silicone to show you which silicone we use for the gaskets in a second. Okay, so also another thing that you need to check, guys, okay, you need to clean the engine block really good. Clean it with a scraper, okay, clean everything really good before you reseal it. Wipe it, okay, with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, make sure it's not greasy, and you will be able to reseal it. So this is the one that we use, guys, the high temp gray silicone. This is one of the best ones. So once you clean everything, okay, really good, make sure you scrape it, clean it, wipe it, you are going to apply, and it's important, guys, to apply on the inner side of the bolts, okay, on the inner and the outer side. Go around the bolts, okay, every single bolt, and on the inner side put like that, so that way oil will not drip out, guys. Reseal it, okay, and we'll have the torque specs coming very soon, okay, in the installation on another video. So now, guys, let's explain, okay, how to get that bolt loose. Most of you guys will try to get it loose and the engine will spin backwards, okay. First, it most likely will not get it loose. Second, it's not very good to spin your engine backwards. But let's explain now, guys, okay, let's explain what we usually do. We get a socket that size, guys. You get an air compressor and an impact gun. That is the only way, easiest way to take those things out. So we pre-loosen ours, guys, okay, with the impact. Okay, and at that point it should just come loose. It shouldn't be too tight. So as I said, guys, impact and an air compressor, it's one of the easiest ways to take that things out. Otherwise you have really hard time. Another thing that you can do is you might need to remove the engine starter. okay, and get a flywheel holder to actually get it loose. But if you want to do it without any special tools, okay, go ahead and do that. Now don't remove the whole bolt, guys. Why? Because we need to remove the bolt, the belt first. So just get it loose, okay, and don't remove it. At that point we need to go ahead, okay, and remove our belt, okay, right here, 14 millimeter, guys, okay, and we need to get the ratchet. So we'll pre-loosen it. You go, okay, let's put that thing there so it's not in the way. We're going to go clockwise, counterclockwise. It's going to get the slack out of the belt. I'll pull it out. Now we can pull the belt all the way out. Okay, like that. And now we can get that bolt loose. Don't do it before you remove the belt, because you have tension on the pulley and that can, okay, damage things. So that's the bolt. Now you grab that, okay, that crankshaft pulley, and it should be able to come out because it has a key, guys. I don't think it's pressed in, so if you grab it with 2 hands, okay, you can simply pull it out, and that's where even the front crankshaft seal is located, behind that pulley. So now next we need to remove the valve cover. How are you guys going to do that? Okay, pretty simple. In order to remove the valve cover, you need to disconnect your fuel line, guys. Okay, that will be the low pressure fuel line coming from the fuel tank. You have fuel, never work on cold, on hot engine, always work on cold engine, guys. Disconnect the car battery so you can avoid sparks. And on these modern cars, it really matters which battery terminal you disconnect and reconnect first. If you do it the wrong way, you can cause damage to the engine computer. I'll put a link to a video that explains which battery terminal to disconnect first. Always have fire extinguisher. I have eye protection, gloves, guys, and all that stuff, because you will be working with gasoline. You need to get that nut loose. We pre-loosen it. Okay, that's for the other, okay, fuel line that's going to the high pressure fuel pump. You need to disconnect. Okay, now that sensor right here, the fuel volume sensor. And next, guys, we're going to remove, okay, the high pressure pump, so we can get it out of the way. 10 millimeter socket, 2 bolts. Okay, you have some tension because it's on the camshaft, and here, okay, you have the high pressure fuel pump, and you have the cam follower here as well, guys. We're going to remove it as well. I would recommend to inspect it and replace it if you need to. Those are actually, it's a weak spot on higher mileage direct fuel injection engines. Now, in order to remove the valve cover, okay, right here we have a line coming from the PCV valve to the intake manifold. We'll remove that one. Here we removed one you can see clamp, so we can remove that cable. And now we need to go ahead, guys, okay, and disconnect the ignition coils. Okay, so those gray things needs to be pressed back, okay, and then press down and just disconnect each one of the cables, guys. Okay, and some of those are a little bit stuck. Okay, perfect. Now here we need to disconnect the exhaust VVT solenoid cable. It goes to the back. Here we have 2 more clips that we need to remove. Now if you want to see the torque specs for the valve cover, guys, later, and the bolt sequence, we have all that on the channel. 2 more bolts, how to remove. Okay, we need to remove here actually to get the wiring harness loose. 1 more bolt. Perfect. All that wiring harness can flip to the side. Okay, just like that. Perfect. Next, guys, okay, let's see. We need to remove ignition coils. 10 millimeter socket again, 4 bolts. Alright, great. Collect all these 4 bolts with ignition coils and pull them out. After that, I believe we have about 20 bolts, around 20 bolts for the valve cover, and you have some in the middle, not to forget that. That one is the one that most people always ignore, and you can break it if you don't remove it, guys, so you need to put a new valve cover. Alright, we're doing that now. Two more for the fuel pump, under the fuel pump here. Now these bolts, we need to just grab all of them out, guys. Okay. I just dropped one. Be careful. Okay. And we have one that I dropped on the floor. Now that valve cover, guys, okay, should come out at that point. Nothing else should be holding it. Okay, you need to just move the fuel line a little bit out of the way. Okay, and the valve cover is out. Now we can continue with the next step. Before you remove the serpentine belt, it's always a good idea to pre-loosen these 3 bolts with a wrench, because when the engine is in the engine bay, you have to pre-loosen them with the belt on. We can use the impact now, but you won't be able to use it if it's in the engine bay. Okay, and we need to remove the pulley for the water pump. Perfect. Now we need to remove that idle pulley right here and the tensioner pulley, okay, that we just recently installed, brand new one. So this is a reverse threaded, guys, remember, reverse threaded. Okay, perfect. We'll go ahead, get it out. Alright, now we'll need to remove the tensioner itself as well, guys. This is, okay, with a is it 17 millimeter or, let's see. And we'll need to do it because we won't be able to remove the timing cover without it. Well, actually it's a smaller, I think. Let's see. I think it's a 16, 5/8, 16. Perfect. We got it loose. Now we have one more here that we need to remove. The alternator, I believe we will not be able to, we will not need to remove it. No. So this one is regular thread, counterclockwise to get it loose. And that one will be extremely tight. Probably hasn't been removed for the last 193,000 miles, guys. So now we have that bracket here for the engine mount. Okay, you need to do that. So that's what we'll be doing next. If the engine is in the vehicle, you have to support your engine really nice on the underneath with a jack and a jack stand, not just a jack itself, because if it fails, the engine will fall and you can smash your fingers, guys. So always, okay, we have to be careful. Now somebody used the wrong ball here. Check this thing out. In the past, yep. One is out, 3 more to go, and that engine mount bracket should actually come out. Alright, perfect. Now let's see what else next. We have to remove quite a few bolts, guys. Okay, so from here, when you start, you have a few 12 millimeters and a few 10 millimeters, as you can see. So 12 and 10 we'll be using mostly here now. And once we pre-loosen all of them, okay, I think there is no gasket, only silicone is holding the timing cover in place. So we're pre-loosening the 12 now, 12 millimeters, and then we'll continue with the next step after that. Okay, this one is tight. Let's try again. Did it come loose? Yep. And okay. That one actually, yeah, you need to remove that one. I believe you do. We'll check in a second. Now, we forgot to pre-loosen one in the corner there. Okay. Perfect. Here. So probably won't be as convenient, okay, being in the engine bay, but we've done it multiple times in the engine bay, guys, and it's doable, it's possible. We have plenty of room. You just won't be able to use something like the impact to actually remove all of them and make it a little bit quicker. So 10 millimeter now, we're going to pre-loosen a few more. We have two guides. I think you have to be careful because you can easily, okay, one right here, you can easily crack, guys, okay, that cover. You can see one guide is right here, I think, and one right there. Those could be rusted, so if you get penetrating spray and spray those, okay, it may help actually come out easier, because we ourselves cracked a couple of timing covers in the past because we weren't patient enough. Okay, oil pan, you can see we already removed it earlier. You have all the bolts underneath otherwise holding it. If you don't remove the oil pan, you have to pre-loosen all the bolts, okay, in order to remove the timing cover, but it's recommended to remove the oil pan because you have to reseal everything. So now with a screwdriver, okay, we can pry a little bit there, okay, a little bit on this side now. You just have to be careful. The guides are holding. We need to probably spray a little bit of penetrating oil. Okay, right here now. Okay, let me get some penetrating oil and spray on this one here and on this one, okay, over there. Okay, right there. Where it's going in, one there, maybe. Or from the front side a little bit if we can. Okay, one right there. Here we have a place where we can actually, guys, okay, pry as well on the bottom, because if you pry too hard it will crack, believe me, guys, you don't want that to happen. Okay, it's holding here in that guide, in that pin. You'll be surprised. Oh, it's moving out. The penetrating oil did its magic, guys. It's moving out on this side, now a little bit on this one. Okay, let's do a little bit on the bottom if we can somewhere. Okay, maybe a little bit more on this side now. Still holding here, guys. This one is not moving at all. On this side it will come out, but on the bottom it's still holding there on this side. So we need to definitely be patient, otherwise we will break it. We might need to, okay, get a screwdriver and try to just get a little bit in there. Maybe with a little bit thinner screwdriver, that's a little bit fat. And maybe spray it even a little bit more, because it cracked a little bit, so it can penetrate. You can see how much rust is in there. Do in between the two pieces. Try again, let it work. Tap on it gently so the vibrations can make it loose. No, it's still holding there, it's still rust, guys, quite a bit of rust that's holding. So we'll get a thinner screwdriver, okay, try to tap on it a little bit between the two pieces, okay, right there, see if it's going to come loose, because otherwise you're going to crack that thing. Those are extremely thin, okay, you think they're fat, they're not, guys, they're so easy to break. That's crazy. Still not coming out. We'll let it soak a little bit and then Okay, we're going to come back, okay, and see if it's going to come out. Okay, I turn it a little bit. Check it out now. I grab it like that, I turn it, and while we're turning, okay, it's coming out, I think. From what I can see now, we can get the screwdriver in there. Okay. Okay, all that rust, guys. Check out how much corrosion that thing had here. Okay, you can see in the timing cover. Okay, came out like that. That's where your timing chain components, oil pump, and everything else is located. So this is, guys, the timing cover. You can see it came out. The oil pan, okay, where it attaches. Okay, you have all these bolts on the bottom, you can see, and the silicone steel. So everything will need to be clean and resealed. It's recommended, guys, to remove the oil pan, put the timing cover, and after you put the timing cover, reseal the oil pan. That timing cover, guys, the only thing holding it is silicone. There is no gaskets. You will need to clean everything with a scraper really good. Make sure all the silicone comes out. Make sure it's clean. Get the rubber alcohol. Clean all the sides. Clean the engine block here as well. Everything needs to be perfect where it's going to lay. And once you do that, guys, you need to get we use the high temp gray silicone. It's amazing, actually, silicone. And you're going to go, okay, apply a thin bead on the inside of the bolts, okay, all the way around inside of the bolts, okay, and later install the cover and pretty much get it tight. We'll have the torque specs coming on the channel very soon. Once we are done rebuilding that engine and putting it together, we will share the torque specs for the timing cover as well. So next step, guys, you need to remove all your spark plugs. When you remove the spark plugs, you need to get a bigger screwdriver or something like that, and you need to make sure that all 4 pistons are even, guys. That means that the pistons will be in the middle of the cylinder, okay, in the cylinder, because if one piston is on top, okay, what can happen when you remove the chain, if the valve releases, okay, you can actually bend valves and things like that, and you want to avoid that. So let us explain now. Okay, we already have our pistons in the middle. If you don't have yours, you may need to put the bolt, okay, and just adjust it to where it comes in the middle. After that, guys, what do you need to do next? Okay, next you need to go ahead, okay, and remove the tensioner for the timing chain. So let's go ahead, do that. So we'll go ahead and remove the tensioner now. Okay, perfect. After that, guys, we need to go ahead and remove the tensioner arm right here. So let's go ahead, do that. Alright, we have the guide right here on this side that we need to remove. Perfect, 3 bolts, and then we should be able to pull that chain out. Let's see now. Alright, perfect. So this one, it should come out now. Okay, one of the camshafts, it's holding a little bit here. So what I will do, okay, I will just come here on top with the wrench, okay, and I can release the pressure a little bit, okay, to where we can pull the tensioner arm out. Okay, slowly release it now. Okay, and now we can remove the third one here. We have one more bolt that we need to remove. Okay, now it should come out. Let's see if it doesn't. Okay, it will. Perfect. Now we can grab the chain, come here, okay, and we can pull the gear out. I recommend to replace it with new gears and pull the chain of the camshafts in. This is it, guys. You can see timing chain came out. Now what about the oil pump timing chain? Okay, I recommend to replace the whole kit. Next, what we need to do, we need to remove the housing for the high pressure fuel pump, guys, right here. 12mm socket. Those are extremely tight. Later we'll have a special video that will explain the camshaft torque specs, the camshaft caps torque specs. So all that will be on our channel, guys, if you need it to put it together. Now we'll go ahead, remove these 3 bolts. Make sure you don't drop anything inside, bolts, tools, anything in your engine, because if you don't notice that and you don't take it out, you can severely, guys, okay, damage it. So just wiggle it a little bit and it will come out. Okay, perfect. This is out. Now let's see what else we have. We're going to start removing the caps. Okay, 12mm on the front, that will be the first ones that we'll be removing. Okay, and those are super tight. We might need to get the bigger tools to actually do that, to pre-loosen them, because they will be tight. Once you pre-loosen them a little bit, they will go by hand pretty easily. Perfect. Now we need to go ahead, remove this. Okay, these four come out. We're going to grab this one now. We might need to wiggle it a little bit. Okay, it started coming out. Okay, right there. And one is out. Now another one. We need to go ahead and remove the little ones, which are with 10mm socket here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 caps on each camshaft. So that's 8 caps, 2 bolts on each. So that's, guys, right there, 16 bolts that we need to remove. So we'll pre-loosen them. And this is where the high pressure oil pump is driven. You can see it's driven by that thing here. So we pre-loosen those. Now we can simply go ahead and start removing them. Alright, now we're going to get the caps. You need to install them exactly in the same order that you remove them, guys. Okay, exactly the same order. It's very important to not mix them. So make sure you go exactly in the same order. Put on a cardboard or something, take pictures of them, mark them if you have to, but they need to go in exactly the same order, guys. Otherwise, okay, you may have problems later. So we just have 2 more caps here, and after that we should be able to remove both of the camshafts out of there. So just last one now. A little bit stuck, so we'll need to get a little bit of a screwdriver, or just tap on it a little bit. Okay, and it came out. Perfect. These ones, okay, those are very important ones. Check it out now. 1, 2, 3. The third ones are the ones that limit the camshaft from moving. So they have side bearings here, as you can see. So those are super important. We have a little bit of wear, but not so much. Okay, on this one there is a little bit more wear than we should. Okay, now we can go ahead and grab the camshafts. Okay, and you pull them out. Okay, you can see like that. This is the intake one, and now we're getting the exhaust camshaft, guys. Okay, we got it out just like that. This is your intake manifold, guys. That's what we have right here. So how do we, okay, remove now the intake manifold? There are a few things that we need to first do, guys. Number one, you need to disconnect your car battery, because you'll be working close to the alternator wires, starter wires, and if you touch those positive wires, you can catch your car on fire. You can actually, guys, burn electronics, module, computers, and that's expensive to fix. And on these modern cars, it really matters which terminal you disconnect first on the battery and which one you reconnect first, because if you do it the wrong way, you can, guys, again, burn the modules and computers that can cost you thousands of dollars. So I'll put a link to a video that explains which battery terminal to disconnect first if you don't know that. So let's explain now, guys, okay, how we're going to remove that intake manifold. Right here, we need to disconnect the wiring harness by lifting those clips up a little bit. Okay, like that. It comes out. Okay, right here we have the wiring harness for the solenoid. Okay, here we'll need to remove that one. This one goes to the exhaust solenoid, I believe. Okay, right here. Let's see if it's going to come this way, or we'll be able to pull it this way actually to the back, one of the two. So let's see if we can do that one, so we can flip everything towards the back. Here we have just one clip that we need to pry with the clip removal tool. Perfect. Here, that's where we need to disconnect things now, guys. Okay, and now let's just check now. Okay, we disconnected this one, we can put it to the side. Okay, just like that. And here we are going to have, that's the intake runner solenoid. Press down. Okay, and let me grab it with the right hand because that thing is tight. Okay, and the wiring harness should be loose now. Okay, it shouldn't be in the way. Now, next step, guys. Right here, that's where things get interesting. We need to remove the intake hose. We pre-loosen that bolt for the hose clamp. Once you pre-loosen it, okay, it's still, we need to get it loose more. So let me get the 10mm, it's still tight, guys. So that bolt will need to be pre-loosened more. And now for the throttle body, you have two options to do. Okay, perfect. Okay, and now you can grab the intake manifold hose. If you remove it out of the air filter box, it will come out. The throttle body, if you remove it, guys, what you will need to do, you need to drain the coolant, but you can do it without it. There are 4 bolts that you can remove from the throttle body that it actually, guys, okay, attaches to the intake manifold. So if you look at it, okay, let us explain where these bolts are located now, and that way you can just fold up the throttle body to the side. These 4 screws with 10mm. All right. Now you don't need to remove the cooling hoses, so it's going to come out to the side. Let's get the screws, the bolts, so we don't lose them. Okay, and we'll leave it like that. Now here we have the map sensor that we need to disconnect and bring it to the side as well. Here, guys, we have a few. Okay, check this thing out. Now 1 second, okay, because here we need to disconnect hoses, but those, okay, that one actually will come with the throttle body, with the intake manifold. So let's see where to disconnect them, from here and here, or from down there, because down there it will be really complicated to pull them out. So from the purge control valve, we're going to disconnect the line, okay, just like that. Then we have one more here, that's a vacuum line. And okay, 1 second now, because that vacuum line actually attaches, okay, with a 10mm socket. So let's see now, we will need to see that vacuum line comes to right here. It will not be able to come out, I believe. Okay, no, it will not be able to come out, because looking at it, we have one bracket here with a 10mm that we need to get loose, so that way we can pull it towards the back. Otherwise, I don't think it will work out, guys. Okay, no, we need to get the ratchet because it's in an angle. The purge control valve, it will come out. Okay, let's do that quick. Perfect, so that one is loose. This one now, we will try to pull it without removing that bolt, but I don't think it's going to work. Nope, nowhere to go. We need to go ahead and remove that one. Otherwise, okay, it's not going to work out. We just need to move to the back a little bit. Okay, and here we have one nut that somebody didn't even get tight, so we're going to remove that one now. Okay, and if we pull it out of here a little bit, okay, just not too much because you still have a ground wire. If you grab from there, okay, let's see if that vacuum line will come out. Okay, perfect, it came out, guys. Okay, you can see this is it. And those, you need to inspect them because they start cracking, so that will be probably the time to replace them when we remove the intake manifold. So, now underneath, we have a bracket that's holding things underneath, and we need to get to that point, okay, to be able to remove things. So, let me just move around, and we'll show you where that bracket is underneath, with the radiators being, okay, loose now. We can actually show you, that's the bracket right there. You can reach the bolts from underneath. These two bolts on top, you need to remove them. Okay, so how do you guys do that? You can see the engine starter, it's almost, I think, practically impossible to remove the engine starter without removing the intake manifold, in my opinion. You might be able to, but you have really hard time. So, now, let's see if anything else is holding here. One of the wires here will be for the oil pressure sensor, I believe. This is the oil dipstick. Okay, we need to pull it out. We grab it. Okay, it's going to leak, so we need to get a napkin, okay, to wipe it. Or I'll just put it down here. Okay, like that. And now on top, guys. Okay, what do we have here? So 12mm socket now, guys, and we need to start removing that intake manifold. So there are a few bolts holding it to the cylinder head. Okay, one you can see right there on top. Between cylinder 1 and 2, that's a nut actually. Okay. Okay, I got it out. That's one nut. Okay, then we have another nut here. No, that thing is too tight, so we need to get the ratchet to actually do that, to pre-loosen it. They haven't been removed for a while, so we can see the amount of rust on the bolt as well, so that can affect a little bit too. So, okay, another nut now. Alright, and I accidentally parked it next to the other one. How? I don't know. Now this one is on the bottom, guys. We don't have one on top. This is the PCV hose. You can pull it out so it's not in the way, and we'll need to disconnect it anyways. Right here, another bolt in the left corner. So we'll go ahead, get that one loose. I think this one is a bolt on the bottom actually. I think we have only 2 nuts, I believe, and the rest of it is bolts. Alright, perfect. Then we have another bolt in the middle, right here, that we need to remove. Tight as well. Excuse me. Now, after that we have one more that we need to remove, which is located on the bottom right side. Alright, almost out. Let me just grab this one. Okay, this is the bolt. That's what the 3 bolt looks like, and 2 nuts so far. Now let's see. Yeah, everything's loose from what we see. Okay, now that wire needs to come out, guys, probably, because this, okay, will come from the bracket right here, because I believe this is for the oil pressure sensor. We'll check and see where it goes, or NOx sensor, one of the two. So we'll just flop it on the, like that. Later we'll start the bolts. Okay, let me grab the socket that we dropped. Perfect. Now let's see what else we got here. So now, if we start pulling a little bit, okay, we have to be careful here. We have the radiator hose we're hitting a little bit. Okay, the oil dipstick is hitting, guys. Oil dipstick, but I believe it's going to come out. It'll be very, very close. So we don't need to remove the oil dipstick. Intake manifold, okay, should come out now. Okay, let's check. You can see just like that, guys. So now on the back side we need to remove the thermal shield so we can disconnect the disconnect the exhaust manifold from the cylinder head next step. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, one bolt out, second one out, number 3 now. Yeah, that's gonna snap probably. Those often guys can do that because they're so rusted and exposed to so much heat that they can easily snap. And yep. Ah, no, it came loose. Okay, almost skipped a beat here, but we're doing good. Okay, great. 3 bolts. Now the thermal shield should come out. The oxygen sensor will attach to it, so you need to disconnect it. Okay, and we have the exhaust manifold, okay, wide exposed. Now right here, guys, that's where the magic will happen. Okay, a lot of penetrating spray, guys. Okay, penetrating spray on each one of those nuts. Okay, we need to soak them good and let them stay for a little bit, and then we will continue, okay, with removing each one of those so we can get the exhaust manifold out of there. I don't know why 2 of them are double nuts. Okay, so let's see now. What is that? 14 millimeter? It looks like it, because Hyundai likes to use 10, 12, 14. So probably we'll need the deep socket 14, guys, right here. And let's see if they're going to come loose at all or not. So there are 2 double nuts at a few places. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, this is the double nut right here. Now why? Because probably the person here that worked on it messed up the thread and he double nutted it. Okay, you can see they're coming loose. Perfect. A little bit upside down, guys, but you get the idea. Okay, we have 2 more on the other side that we need to do with a little bit of an extension because we cannot reach. So 1 in the corner on top, 1 in the corner on the bottom as well. Okay, let's see if we will be able maybe to do them with the impact, okay, and see if we can save a little bit of time. Remove them and see if that exhaust manifold will come loose now. That penetrating spray is amazing stuff, guys. It will make your life so much easier. Check out all the rust that it ate of the nut. That's just nuts. Nuts for taking the nuts off. Okay, the whole bolt steps in now. You can see it sprays a little bit of rust here and there, but sometimes without spraying them it's almost impossible to remove them. So we just have, I think, 3 more. Okay, 3 more to remove, and that exhaust manifold will start getting loose. And then we just have 1 more after that in the corner. Alright, now we have it here, guys, now, but in the vehicle you can just let it see in the vehicle. Here what we will do now, okay, we're going to disconnect the oxygen sensor so we can just pull it out of here so it's not in the way. So let me go ahead, okay, do that, and if we grab it I think it's going to come out all the way. Okay, all the way, just like that. Here is the gasket that's recommended to replace every time when you remove it. So next, guys, we need to disconnect the fuel injectors. We disconnect 2 lines already, okay, and we'll show you just on 2 of them. So right here, that gray piece, okay, needs to come out, guys. Okay, so the gray piece, you have to be careful. Okay, you need to just pry it out. Okay, and once you pry that gray piece out, I'm trying to zoom in a little bit. You can press in here, guys. Okay, and disconnect. Okay, the cables. Okay, you have 4 cables, 4 fuel injectors, and you have 1 sensor for the fuel pressure sensor. Okay, 1 cable. Now you need to disconnect the camshaft position sensors right here. Intake on this side, exhaust on the other side. So let me see where I can come from to show you how to do things. What we're going to do right here, we have the bracket, so a little bit limited room. Now we need to disconnect, guys. Okay, we need to disconnect that cable right here. Okay, perfect. So it's out. Now that fuel line, it can stay there, but we need to remove the purge valve. Under the purge, well, no, the purge valve can come out with it, I think. What we have to do, disconnect the line for the purge valve. Okay, going to the fuel tank. Ours, okay. Okay, so you can just slide it out. There is 1 tooth on the bottom right there that you press with a screwdriver, and then you can pull it out, put it on the side. Okay, like that. You don't even need to disconnect it. Now we need a 12mm socket, and we need to disconnect the thermostat housing, make sure the coolant has been drained and all that stuff. And we have a special procedure that explains how to safely drain the coolant, because otherwise you can severely burn yourself. So drain the coolant, guys. Remove the thermostat housing bolts. 1 is out. Now let's see if we can get to this second bolt, which is right here. We might need to remove the wiring harness here for the, okay, that attaches there. So let's see if we can reach it. Okay, or you may need to disconnect it from right here. It has 1 tooth holding. So okay, and now let's see if we can grab there with a 12mm. There is 1 more bolt for that thermostat housing. Okay, and we need to see if we have anything else holding up. Right here we have 1 more bolt that I see, 1 more nut. Okay, in the corner. Okay, right there. This is a 12mm again. So okay, I'm trying to show you where, guys. Okay, let's see if we can reach there, or we might need to just get the wrench through this side and remove it that way, because thermostat housing now it's loose. The only thing holding it is that nut, guys, holding it in place to be able, okay, to remove the thermostat housing of the cylinder head. Otherwise we have to disconnect all these hoses, guys, to remove the thermostat housing with the cylinder head, and we probably don't want to do that. Okay, and everything starts getting loose at that point. So as you can see, it is working. Let me go ahead and remove it. Okay, that's the nut right here now. I'm working on this one now. Okay, I'm out. That's the nut. Now the thermostat housing should slide right out, hopefully. Let's see if we have anything else holding here and there. It looks like there is. Okay. Oh, 1 problem, guys. Now the thermostat housing attaches to the water pump, so it needs to come out of the water pump. Okay, and here will leak more coolant, of course. Leak more coolant. Okay, that's see you later. You need to inspect it and replace it if you need to, guys. Okay, you can see, but it came out. So yeah, you have 2 gaskets here that I would recommend to replace every time you remove it, or you will develop a leak from the cylinder head. So now next step, we need to get the big tools, guys. Okay, and go ahead and get all the bolts loose for the cylinder head where it attaches to the cylinder block. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bolts, guys. 10 bolts, and this is with a triple square socket. We'll show you what it looks like. I'll put the link in the description of the video below where you can get it from. This is a triple square socket, number 12, M12 to M12. So let's go ahead and see Okay, how we can pre-loosen those things, and that thing is super tight. We need to get the big pipe, guys. So they do come loose, you just need to hold it good. Okay, let's see now. We have the bearing here that we need to remove for one of the bolts. Okay, just it comes out like that. Everything needs to go at exactly the same location when you put things together, guys. Make sure you don't forget something. Okay, now I'm gonna hold the engine because it's spinning. Once they go a little bit, they will go pretty easy. So actually, guys, okay, you need to start the other way. No, we need to go to this side now. We need to go, there is a sequence like for installing the bolts, but removing the bolts kind of like you go in reverse way that you install the bolts. So go on this side, then on the other side, kind of like in a cross pattern. Okay, so okay, let's do that. No, it's going to slip. I saw it come out. Okay, and this one's loose. This one, make sure it goes in correctly. You might need to clean the bolts if they have like carbon buildup on them, because sometimes they will, and you want to make sure that the socket goes as deep as it can, because otherwise it can slip, guys. So let's come on this side now, do two on this side, and okay. Now let me do Malcolm. Okay, I'll do a little bit here. Okay, and let me pass the camera so I can do the rest of them. One person will be holding the engine here with the thing. Okay. Okay. One out. Okay, now another one here. And 4 more to go, guys. Okay, 4 more to go. Okay, let me turn that socket just a little bit to where I can reach maybe a little bit better. Okay, perfect. Okay, now that was the microphone. If you guys hear any noise, I apologize for that. So, 3 more, I believe. Okay. Oh, we have the torque specs on the channel, guys, but I have the feeling that it will be quite a bit. Last bolt. Thing is ridiculous, guys. Got my workout for the day. Okay. Yeah. Let's see now if we can get the impact maybe to do that. Whew. That was quite a bit. So we can just unscrew them now at that point, one by one, and we should be okay. The socket is right here, actually, the two. That's way easier right now. Okay. Two more. Let's see now. We can grab them, pull them out. Always new bolts when you remove the head, cylinder head, new gasket and new bolts every single time, guys, you remove them. You already probably know that, so. Okay. Let's get them out. Okay, a few more. Okay, let me wipe here a little bit. So let's see what to do. Okay, everything should be loose, everything should be free. So if we grab that cylinder head, guys, okay, it should be practically loose now. Nothing else, okay, should be holding it. Maybe a little bit stuck to the gasket. So we're going to lift it up, okay, and we will. Yeah, everything's completely loose. Just has a few guides where it goes. So we just grab and pull it up. Okay, and that right here, guys, is the cylinder head, okay, out of the car, and the cylinder head gasket right there. So you can see, guys, this is the cylinder head gasket. Okay, if you need to just replace cylinder head gasket, okay, it's right here. That's the gasket, guys. Now, before you install the cylinder head, you need to clean the surface really good. Okay, the cylinder block and the cylinder head itself on the bottom side, okay, you need to clean it. You need to clean everything, because if you don't clean it, guys, and you install the new gasket, okay, if you have that old material from the gasket, it's not going to seat correctly, and as a result, you can develop a bad cylinder head gasket symptoms, and you will have to do the job again. So if you want to see how to clean cylinder head or cylinder block for a new gasket, we have the video on our main YouTube channel, How to Repair, guys. Check it out. It will teach you guys how to do that, everything, okay, from start to finish. So this right here, guys, this is the cylinder head. All that will need to be cleaned as well, guys, here. So don't forget to do that. So yeah, that's it. We'll have a video how to install the cylinder head now, and the torque specs for the cylinder head bolts in sequence, and the torque specs for the camshaft caps. All that will be on our channel. Please check it out. Hopefully the video will be helpful to you, to any of you needing that information. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.